Today we are going to discuss a poem, Elegy written in a country churchyard, poem written by Thomas Gray. So in this lecture we first look key facts, literary references from the poem, writer's critical comment on Gray, then summary, then after theme, symbol and style way of writing and a structure, and then after phrases and quotes from the poem and previous year questions. Poem written in 1750 when he was living near St. Giles Parish Church at Stockpage. Poem was sent to his friend Horace Walpole, including letters. Poem published and popularized by Horace. Poem published in 15 Feb 1751 in the Magazine of Magazine as a pamphlet by the publisher of William Owen on the approval of Gray. Poem preface written by Horace Walpole in which he stated to the reader, poem accidentally came into my hand. For the reader pleasure, I spread it, and I did not apologize to the author. Hope that author forgive me. Gray uses his manuscript in this poem, which was written in 1752. Original title of the poem is "A Stanza Wrote in a Country Churchyard." The country churchyard word means is allude or stand for a city church graveyard. As like मुस्लिम्स जैसे उनकी मस्जिद होती है, मस्जिद से एक अटैच्ड कब्रस्तान होता है, द सेम वे द सिटी चर्च, द चर्च अटैच्ड अ ग्रेवयार्ड. ओके. Poem inspired by the death of his friend Richard West. Poem conclude with epitaph which tells us narrator fear of dying. Gray was a transitional writer and poet. His work written at the end of Augustan age and beginning of Romantic period. Hence, he became a precursor of the Romantic writers. Gray has rejected poet laureateship due to his shyness. Gray also was a self-critical writer who published only 13 poems in his lifetime. He keeps on criticizing himself, as like me. Poem deal with daily life activity, meditation on death and remembrance after death. Also poem compare with aristocrat people to high class. The opening line is most important of the poem. The curfew tolls a knell of parting day, the lowing headwind slowly o'er the lea. Let's have a look literary reference. Poem compare with John Milton's elegy, Lycidas. Gray's poem found natural, whereas Milton poem artificially designed. Poem recalls English countryside poems such as John Dyer's Granger Hill. Robert Blair uses Gray's elegy in his poem The Grave in order to prove the sense of kinship. The P.B. Shelley translated poem into Latin language as an exercise. After that, he wrote A Summer Evening Churchyard, which is concluded as there is something appealing in the death that frees it of terror. Tennyson also adopted Gray's elegy and wrote In Memoriam, Meditation on Death. Robert Browning has written a pastoral poem, Love Among the Ruins, with similar setting in which he described the desire for glory and how everything ends in death. T.S. Eliot four quartets are derived from the Gray's elegy. It means the idea borrowed from Gray's elegy for his poem, in which he uses Gray's poetic diction and talk about argument on mortality and society. Ambrose Bierce, American journalist, has used parody of the poem for critical purpose in his book Devil's Dictionary. Book ends with dismissive line, the wise man homeward plods, I only stay to fiddle faddle in minor key. Humphrey Cobb has written a anti-war novel, Paths of the Glory, title taken from the Gray's elegy line, "The paths of the glory lead but to the grave." Next, Thomas Hardy. Thomas Hardy written a novel, Far from the Madding Crowd. Title has been taken from Elegy written on a country churchyard from the stanza 19, line number 73. Also, Hardy wrote a poem, Afterward. Hardy uses a same idea and theme in his poem, Afterward. Jane Austen has quoted line from the poem to her novel Emma to the character of Mrs. Elton. The line is, "Everybody who sees it is struck by its beauty, but to me it has been quite a home," in the chapter 32. Wordsworth, influenced by Gray, and give an example of Gray in his text preface of Lyrical Ballad as what poets should do or not, and these pieces consider as manifesto for reading English romantic poet. Writer's critical comment on Gray. Samuel Johnson. Samuel Johnson did not like Gray poetry, but he praised Gray's elegy in his essay Life of Gray. Clint Brooks said, Gray's poem, The Imaginary Does, seems to be intrinsically poetic, the statement free from ambiguity, free from irony. Eliot, in his essay Metaphysical Poetry, said that the feeling, the sensibility expressed in the country churchyard is cruder than that in the Coy Mistress. Matthew Arnold said to Gray in his text Study of Poetry, he is scantiest and frailest of classics in our poetry. Let's have a look summary. As we all know, the poem begins with a church bell. The church bell is a signal for end of a day. Tired peasant people moving toward their home in the way, beetle buzzing and tinkling sheep's bell, another signal for bedtime. Owl complaining to the moon about poet and speaker who roaming around and disturbing and destroying his nest. Poet also praising common people and their simple life. Their simple life could be a great if they got a chance. They can be popular among us as such as like Milton, Cromwell, or as a ruler. The speaker satirize on high class and rich people that you don't feel proud. Poverty is all root of the evil, due to which poor people couldn't read and educate. They unable to learn about history and their inspiration was frozen and died. And also said, no one should make fun of simple honest life as these once lived. Neither riches nor fancy grave makers can give back life. A speaker also said that about poor people, they are unsung hero and a flower that didn't bloom. They can be history or example for the future. Poem lament on peasant and rustic dead people who resting in a narrow grave and their tomb covered with grass and bushes. And in the beginning of the poem, we find the reference of John Locke. Gray employed John Locke's philosophy of the sensation, which argued that the senses were the origin of idea. Information described in the beginning of the poem is reused by narrator as he contemplates life near the end. And in the end of the poem, a speaker connected to Locke's an essay concerning of human understanding. Poem's primary message is to promote the idea of Englishness and the pastoral elegy countryside. Poem tribute to simple people. Central idea of the poem is everybody dies. Our life journey ends with death. Poem's comparison of people and their life and achievement is allude to Virginia Woolf's A Room of One's Own. There is an example in which Shakespeare and his fictional sister Judith Shakespeare. So we got these kind of references and example which comprises high class and low class people. Poet has used euphemism in order to avoid grave word. Instead of these, he used word moon, bird, trees, etc. In the first 7 stanza, poem contrasts between death and life. In third stanza, owl complaining to the moon about poet and a speaker. In fourth stanza, which deal with cemetery, कब्रस्तान का मंजर उसमें बयान किया गया है. And sixth stanza deal with farmer before and after life, as no respect toward a man who work hard for livelihood to the family. In the 11th stanza, a speaker asks a rhetorical question in order to accept death. Can wealth save you from death? Can flattery convince death for not to come? Can honor bring their decaying body back to life? The answer is big no. इस तरह के 3 क्वेश्चन पूछता है. In the 15th stanza, talk about speaker imagination return to England and alluding 3 important English historical figure such as John Hampden, John Milton and Oliver Cromwell. 27th stanza talking about speaker life from old age to his death with 3 mourning experience. Poem end with epitaph which consists on 3 stanza. In first stanza, a speaker asks to remember him as a common man who have lots of sadness and melancholic feeling. In second stanza, a speaker asks to remember him as a sincere and generous person whose wish to mourn for death, and also heaven gave him a friend, someone who would mourn for him after his death. In third stanza, he warning to the reader does not praise him, he has lots of flaws and weakness. A speaker wished to be identified as a common man, a rather great man, to whom he has praised, to whom he will be buried. The next topic is theme. First, death. Poem best known for death in European literature. Poem represent a concern of a stranger about buried people while he was passing by churchyard. Narrator recalls the phrase memento mori, that means remember that you must die. When talking about living people, they should show respect for death with sorrow. Second, search for self. A speaker of this poem goes through a process of recognizing what is important to him, to choosing how to live life in order to make a good life after death. Also, poet more emphasize on education because rustic people have lack of knowledge due to freedom, poverty, family responsibility and etc. Their poverty block the way of knowledge. Third, class conflict. Lower class as being more worthy of praise than their upper class counterpart. Poem is devoted to praising simple virtue of the poor. It is a meditation on death, which is called Great Equalizer. Narrator glorifies the poor, but he reminds us the path of the glory lead but to the grave. Next is symbol. Darkness and night. In the poem, darkness and night symbolize death and isolation. As nightfall began, a speaker felt alone in the dark graveyard. These darkness represent inevitability of death. A speaker point out graveyards, tree shades, and darkness throughout the poem, showing a speaker isolation from others. He imagined life of dead peoples who buried in graveyard. Next is light and fire. Light and fire is represent human beings' life. It associated with 2 things, passion and inspiration. A speaker also muses to goddess of the art for creative inspiration, especially for the rustic people. Another is the rod of empire. The rod of empire symbolizes political power. A speaker contrasts the height of human power, emperor to rustic people, rich to poor people, etc. Poem provide us visualize image of rod for registering these sentiment on physical level. Style and structure. The poem is elegy in a name but not in form. It is an ode which consists on 32 stanza, 128 lines, written in heroic quatrain with iambic pentameter. Rhyme scheme is ABAB pattern. Now let's have a look last part, phrases and quotes from the poem. First is memento mori, Latin phrase which means remember that you must die. Second, lacrime rerum, tears of things. Madding crowd, which means people engaging in materialistic thing. Parting day, end of a day or nightfall. Kinder spirit, reader feel a connection with the speaker. Hoary-headed swan, white or grey hair swan signify rural person. Rustic moralist, a rural person who aware about right and wrong. Fair science, education. Pious drop, dying person require pray to his soul with tears. Knells, a term applied to bell sung at the death time. Dumb forgetfulness, it refers to common people who are prone to be forgetfulness when they die. मतलब ऐसे इंसान जो मरते वक्त भूल जाने का शिकार हो जाते हैं, उनके मरने के बाद कोई उन्हें याद नहीं रखता. Quotes from the poem, some beautiful lines. The path of the glory lead but to the grave. Far from madding crowds, ignoble strife. Full many of flower is born to blush unseen. Here rest his head upon the lap of earth. In last part, let's have a look few question which has been asked in that exam. In July 2018, the question asked, arrange the following elegies in chronological order. The right order is elegy written in a country churchyard, Adonais in memoriam, and Thyrsis. In second question, in July 2018, the statement-based question asked, Samuel Johnson has following to say about which poet, which English poet. These images are marked by glittering accumulation of ungraceful ornament. They strike rather than please. The images are magnified by affection. The language is labored into harshness. The mind of writer seems to work with unnatural violence, double toil and trouble. He has a kind of strutting dignity, and it's tall by walking on tiptoe. His art and his struggle are too visible, and there is too little appearance of ease and nature. Identify the poet. The options are Thomas Gray, John Dryden, John Milton, Thomas Watt. The answer is Thomas Gray. In 2016, which of the following phrase is not found in the Thomas Gray's elegy written in a country churchyard? The lines are far from the madding crowd, a youth to fortune and fame unknown, full many a flower is born to blush unseen. Fourth is all nature is but art unknown to thee. The fourth option is not from the poem. This is right answer. In August 2016, the question has been asked, which of these is best paraphrase of the line, the path of the glory lead but to the grave? The best paraphrase is, or answer, everyone dies, even a famous and glorious. In December 2015, which of these is not a pastoral elegy? First, Lycidas, In Memoriam, Tharsis, Adonais. The answer is In Memoriam. Gray's poem is also included in this list of pastoral elegy. In June 2015, the question asks, in tracing the history of English poetry, Thomas Gray's Progress of Poesy invokes a major poet as follow, nor second he that rode sublime upon the seraph wings of ecstasy, the secret of the apse to spy. Who is he? The options are William Shakespeare, Edmund Spenser, John Milton, John Dryden. The answer is John Milton. In June 2014, question asks, where ignorance is bliss, 'tis folly to be wise. Who wrote the following lines? The lines from the poem of Thomas Gray, Ode on a Distinct Prospect of Eton College. In June 2012, who among the following is not an Irish writer? Oscar Wilde, Oliver Goldsmith, Edmund Burke, and Thomas Gray. So the answer is Thomas Gray. Thomas Gray is belong to England, English writer. In December 2012, question asks, which of the following author theme is correctly matched? The answer is Gray. Gray's elegy and theme, accumulation of wealth and consequent loss of human lives and values. In June 2008, Hymn to Adversity poem is written by Thomas Gray. In June 2007, Ode on the Spring was written by Thomas Gray. In June 2007, which of the following is correct chronological sequence? Lycidas, an elegy written in a country churchyard, Adonis, and In Memoriam. It's the right sequence. In December 2006, the question asks, John Locke's essay concerning human understanding is about nature of human mind. Thomas Gray elegy written in a country churchyard, laments on peasant, farmer. So आज की वीडियो में बस इतना ही. हम फिर मिलेंगे अगली वीडियो में अगर ज़िंदा रहा तो. ओके.